Dr. Patricia J here, and we're kicking off the Living Well in Bell lecture series here at the Temple Community Clinic. I'm a co-founder of Living Well Aware. Check out our website. And tonight I'm going to be speaking on Begin with the End in Mind. Let's design a wellness journey. Take care.
I would say this is a joke, but maybe it's the truth. If my husband leaves planet Earth, my amazing husband of 43 years, he would have to be amazing to put up with me for 43 years. If my amazing husband of 43 years leaves planet Earth before I do, I'm going to Match.com. Need tech support. Money and sex, we'll talk about that. But anyway, all right, thank you. Thank y'all for being here. Give yourself a hand for investing in your wellness. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm co-founder of Living Well Aware along with Jeff. My husband, who's actually the mastermind behind Living Well Aware, as a lot of you know, because he took me kicking and screaming to a wellness conference 16 years ago as of last month. And I mean kicking and screaming. I did not want to go. I thought this was stupid, investing thousands of dollars to go take this wellness course. Game changer for both of us. And since then, we've taken many other courses that were even more expensive to try to learn the best so we can apply it and share it with people that we know. So thank y'all for being here. We love sharing it. And so, welcome to the Temple Community Clinic new lecture series here at our new facility. This is awesome. This is awesome. And I think a lot of you know who I am. I'm an author of a book and a workbook, and also author of an adolescent program. There's Living Well Aware, My Choice is My Life, which is now in all the area schools. We're in public schools, we're in private schools, Christian schools. We're even in a special needs school here in the community. So we've developed a curriculum that meets the needs of all types of schools. We're excited about that. And Jeff, once again, helped co-author that. Tonight is Begin with the End in Mind. Your GPS needs a dream destination. We're going to talk about how our brain is the most amazing computer in the world, and it functions like a GPS system. All right? So we're talking about that. Because let's think about it. Your GPS has to have a destination. If you want to go somewhere and plug it in your phone or your car, you have to plug in where you're going, and it'll get you there. It needs to know where you're going. Would you start building a house and you don't have the final design? Would you be hiring the cement people and the slab people and the foundation people and the roof pit with that, and you don't even have a final design? Of course not. You wouldn't even start a major remodel without a final design. Look what happened with this building here. Sherry Wojtek had a design in mind. She saw it. And she saw that vision, and then she made it happen. She just didn't say, well, let's just start building. No, she had a design in mind. And yeah, there were some details to get there, but she knew what she wanted, and she saw it. She saw it. And then they got it on paper, right? Same thing with a trip. Would you go pack for a vacation and you don't know where you're going? Not unless your husband was going to surprise you and not tell you, okay? Maybe that, all right? But no, I know I'm going to Colorado next month for a couple of weeks, and I visualize what I'm going to be doing, biking and hiking and eating in nice restaurants in Breckenridge. And I already know, yeah, I've already started my pack list. Why? Because I know what I'm going to be doing. But think about it, do we do that with our wellness? Think about all the things we plan for. All the things we plan for, whether it's buildings or whether it's a vacation or our career. We plan for it, we see it, and then boom, then we make a route happen. How many of us stop and go, wow, I need an ultimate plan for my health and my happiness, because I see myself and I see where I want to be when I'm 90, when I'm 100. I see myself. Yeah. That's what I want. Here's what I got to do to get there. How many of us do that? How many of us plan for our health and happiness? Because folks, the most important project or destination in your life is your health and your happiness. Why? Because what's the definition of an optimal state of health? It's our physical, emotional, social, financial, and spiritual well-being so that we can do what? Take care of everybody else so that we can meet our role expectations. I didn't come up with that definition, the World Health Organization did. I want to be the best version I can be so that I can be more productive, more creative, help more people, and actually really enjoy my short time here during this earthly existence. And so we don't want to ignore this. But this is not what we're taught. We're taught, oh, that would be selfish. And that's really not what we're taught if we read correctly from a lot of famous books, like one called the New Testament. Even Jesus took 40 days off to go get his act together. Not my idea of a vacation that he took, but just what am I called to do? What do I need to do? Oh yeah, let me go do this. Go take care of ourselves first. Don't ignore this. So we need to begin with the end in mind. Begin with the end in mind. And as we forget to do that because we don't see the end. We can keep thinking, so people can go, I need to lose weight, 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 or I need to get fit, I need to get fit, I need to lower my stress, I need to lower my stress, I need to lower my stress. No, we need to begin with the end in mind. We need to, what does the best me look like? I see it, I see it. What does calm look like? What does a fit person look like? And it's just like your GPS. You plug in the destination, your GPS finds a route to get you there. It just finds it. And if you get off track, or there's an accident, what does it do? It reroutes you. That's the way the brain works. So the question is, what destinations are you plugging in? And sometimes we forget to plug in our health and happiness as the ultimate destination. The ultimate destination. And one of those ultimate destinations is for us to be the most incredible giving, helping person, and we see ourselves doing all of these things. In all areas of life. How do we look physically? How do we look emotionally? How do we look socially, the quality of our relationships? How do we look financially? And I don't mean what's the bottom line on your portfolio. For most of us, what are we doing with those amazing gifts that we've been given? And are we at peace with our finances? I have patients who are mega millionaires who worry about money. Do you know these people? Oh, the stock market could crash. And I have friends who are just living off Social Security, and they're the happiest people I know. They're at peace. So all of this is about being at peace with where we are also. So what's your destination? So what I want to talk about a little bit tonight is, I have a whole talk on visualization and the 4 questions you need to answer for your ultimate life. I got all this, but I thought in the short amount of time I have, what's one thing that I'd like to get across to you, and that's to know your brain, the ruler of your life. So by the time you leave here tonight, you're going to be neuroscientist. So look at the person next to you and say, I'm a neuroscientist. Like in that destination, I'm a neuroscientist. All right, we're going to talk about brain function and not action. Why do we do what we do? Right? And the formula. Because I always say, we are our BS, our belief system. And if you and I want to get to the next level of life, we have to start questioning our BS that's been programmed up there. Because our BS is stored in our brain. And all of that has been occurring from the moment we were born. People have been programming us. And a lot of that was good. I learned how to walk, talk, put my clothes on, and do a lot of things. Deliver babies. I have the program up here to do all this. Ride a bike. So we learned a lot of good programs. But we also learned programs that weren't so good. That we learned that's horrible, and that person should never be forgiven. Or this is stressful. But we learned these programs. We learned these programs. They were taught to us. And so we actually do need to do what it says in Thessalonians, question everything. What's the second line? Somebody better know this. Retain what is good. Okay? You didn't know this was going to be a sermon, did you? So all of this is stored in the brain, in an area of my brain. My identity is stored up here. I am Dr. Patricia J. I'm also Mrs. Waxman. I'm also a mother, a grandmother, a Christian. I won't go into political affiliations, but it's stored up here. And if I have a stroke in that area, that identity is gone. It's gone. That's pretty humbling, isn't it? I am gone as I know me. All these beliefs are stored up here. They're stored up there. So our brain is unlike any other organ in the body that's duplicated. Okay, you've got a right brain and you've got a left brain, and they're separate. You can see they're separate now. They are connected by the corpus callosum, which is a bunch of axonal fibers, these neuron fibers, but they're separate. And the brain is the only organ in the body that's duplicated that has different functions. You have two kidneys. Does the right kidney do one thing and the left kidney do another? No, that's why you can have one removed and the other one's going to take over. You have two lungs. Does the right inhale and the left exhale? No, they do the same thing. Two arms, two legs, two eyes. The brain is the only organ in the body that's duplicated that has different functions. How do we know this? We know this from imaging studies and asking people questions, functional MRIs. We also know it when people have strokes. When they have strokes in various areas of their brain, and what functions, what memory they lose or whatever, we know what happens. We know it from certain disease states. We've learned a lot about the brain over the years. And we've learned this. So we've learned that we literally have two minds. And our left brain, it's our survival brain. It gets us around here on planet Earth. It's the home of our fight, flight, freeze response. It's going to keep us alive. All of a sudden, we have to act quickly. Oh, granddaughter's about to fall in the pool, and she's 2 and can't swim. I can move pretty fast. All right? We move quickly, or maybe we might freeze, or it's time to run. All right? There's a pit bull after me. It's also the area of our spoken and written language. Well, people can have a stroke there and they can't talk. How many of you have known that to happen to a friend or a relative? Yeah. And also, it functions linearly, serially. It tries to predict the future by looking at the past so it'll know what to do right now. So it's always, it's looking at the past, trying to predict the future, figuring out what to do now. And it's the goal-driven, methodical, there we go, I've got it here, or part of that brain I'm in. It's the organized part. I call it my GTD, which stands for Get Things Done. It's my GTD. My left brain is I always say, it's what made me internationally famous in gynecology. I could get things done. I could figure research out and go, this doesn't make sense, da-da-da. And it's the thing that says, Patsy, you need to go to the grocery store because you're out of salad stuff, all right? It's get things done, get things done, get things done, survive on planet Earth. And it's also, it gives me my individuality. It tells me I am who I am. It's about I, all right? And it's our judging center, and we're constantly judging. Is this right, wrong, good, bad, kind, unkind? It's the judging part of our brain, all right? Then we have our right brain. Our right brain is our thriving brain. It's what I like to refer to as the sage or the inner spirit or whatever you want to call it. And it's that deeper, wiser part of us that doesn't get caught up in the drama. It's just dealing what is, and it functions like a parallel processor. It's totally present to the moment. It's like when I know I'm in my right brain, when somebody's talking to me and they're explaining something to me, and I'm just listening. I'm just totally present to them. And I'm not thinking about, I wish she'd quit up talking because I'd really like to tell her what I really think. Where's that coming from? My left brain. My right brain is full of empathy and understanding, and I'm just listening. I'm just listening. Now, and it doesn't argue with reality. It just deals with it. It doesn't go, this is good, this is bad, this is right, this is wrong. It goes, oh, this is what this person did. Oh, what do I need to do here? It's not like it's sitting there in la la land and it's not going to act. It's going to deal with it. All right? And And it's a part of us that if you're in the same camp as Dr. Jill Bolte Taylor, who is a Harvard neuroanatomist, it's that part of us that's connected with the divine, the universe. It's the we. It's the we. It's not the me, the me, the me. It's the we. It's that part of us that is connected to everyone, that part of me that tells me everything I do matters. Everything I do matters. You know, whether I get upset at that person who did something that I didn't want him to do, or whether I go, well, things happen, I do crazy things too. You know, it's all gonna matter. Whether I smile at that desk clerk when I walk in, or do I just walk by and ignore? Everything I do matters. I can make somebody's day, or I can ruin their day, and it's gonna have a ripple effect. It's that part of us that is connected with everyone, all right? Because we're nothing but energy. I am nothing but a bundle of energy. You're going, yeah, Pastor, we can see that. But that's what we all are, because you are made up of trillions of what? Cells. Those cells are made up of cell parts. Those cell parts are made up of atoms, and then those atoms are electrons, and we are all an incredible part of energy. But our left brain sees us as individuals, and our right brain is just connected to everything. If you want to see a great TED Talk, the first TED Talk that ever went viral was by a neuroanatomist, Dr. Jill Bolte Taylor, who had a stroke in her left brain. And what happened? And that TED Talk has probably had more views than just about any other TED Talk. It came out in 2008. It's fascinating. What happens when you're a neuroanatomist and you get to study your own brain from the inside out? Right? So it's also that part of us that's not judgmental. It just has blameless discernment. How can I deal with this situation? How can I deal with this situation? So we have to become neuroscientists. But at least we need to understand the basics of how our brain works and why we do what we do. Why we do what we do. Because the great news is you and I have the power. We all have the ability to direct our thoughts, feelings, and actions. Maybe in the past we've been taught, oh, this is stressful, 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 this is disgusting. We've been taught all this. But we can alter long-held beliefs and habitual patterns by actually choosing how we perceive the world. How we perceive the world. And not that we're just going to sit there and do nothing, and we may not like something that's going on, but what am I going to do about it? What can I do about this? What are the gifts, the opportunities, the possibilities here? And we have the power to turn our emotional circuitry on and off by choice in a matter of seconds. We can be in a totally negative state, realize what's going on and go, oh my goodness, and stop. And stop. Because as soon as you stop and you become aware of that state, because unconsciously you just got upset. It's already programmed in here. 95% of what you do every day is programmed. You don't have to get up and go, how do I walk? How do I talk? How do I put my clothes on? How do I eat? You don't have to do that. It's all programmed. 95% of what you do is programmed. It's programmed in your unconscious mind. So 95% of the day, you're walking around unconscious. Now, a lot of that's really good, isn't it? Because I don't want to have to think about how do I walk, how do I talk, how do I ride a bike, how do I run, how do I do it. I don't want to have to think about those things. But some of these things that have been programmed up here have not served me well. They weren't serving me well. All right? My husband would do certain things, and I would automatically get upset. It was programmed there. And I had to stop and go, Patsy, why are you getting upset? Once you stop and question the program, you're no longer the program. Now you're conscious and you're questioning it. Now you're conscious. You're conscious. So we have the power to turn our emotional circuitry on and off by choice. And now that my husband and I, we've been practicing a whole lot. And he comes home from work, he goes, I gotta tell you what happened today. And I'm like, oh, he's got a good story. He goes, this happened, da-da-da, and I caught myself, and da-da-da. And he immediately got into a kind state. And that parent that was the little kid that was demanding and all, he was so kind and all, and he has the most amazing Press-Ganey scores I've ever seen. Those of you in medicine know what I'm talking about, how we get evaluated, you know? And rather than being upset and in the operating room and everything, and one of the surgeons finally came up to me and said, "What drug are you on? You're the happiest doctor up here." I said, "I don't know." This is the new Jeff Waxman. Question the programming, those long-held beliefs that have been there for decades, right? It requires imagination and using our entire brain. The home of all of our memory, thoughts, emotions, behaviors, they're all programmed up here. You know, it's amazing. Wait, how many of y'all own one of these? Isn't it incredible? Oh, I'm on the iPhone 12. And my husband says, "You need the 16 or something." I went, "I don't need a new iPhone. I need some new programs up here." And I've been pursuing wellness for 16 years now. I'm on OS 16. I try to upgrade it every year, actually several times a year, upgrading the software. This is the computer I need to upgrade. All right? So here's the keys to this. We need to edit existing programs. We do that all the time, aren't we? You have the software upgrades. Isn't it amazing? These computer people are smart enough to know that. We need to be more. We can be more productive, more efficient. Except when it comes to our health, we can be healthier and happier while we're more productive and creative. And we need to turn on underutilized programs, just like my fancy Mac computer up here and my phone. It has stuff on it. They're programs that I've never used. There were a lot of programs up here I wasn't using either. They're there. And we all have them. We all have these programs for peace and joy. And looking at the possibilities, we all have their programs. We need to turn them on and utilize them more. And how are we going to do that? Through awareness. So my problem was that I had a really great developed left brain, okay? And it was actually overutilized because I lived in my left brain. Not all the time. Yes, I could stop and be empathetic and understanding, but that wasn't where I lived most of the time. And I realized I was underutilizing my thriving brain. What am I called to do? And it actually, the more I started learning this, it caused me to take a total career shift. I was speaking around the world, getting paid big bucks to do so. All right? I mean, I was in Vienna and Venice and Buenos Aires and Berlin and all over the world because I did this cool research. All right? And everybody wanted to hear about it. And then I started pursuing wellness, and I went, well, that's cool, but I want to learn how to do this. And I had to really reprogram because I had to look, what am I called to do? And that's what our right brain can actually help us do. What am I actually called to do? All right. So the left brain, the survival brain, we can edit programs, we can delete, that program is not serving me well. That one that gets angry all the time, it needs to go. Particularly when this crazy little just nitsy thing happens. All right? Or this program that says, when I get depressed or if I get anxious or whatever it is for you. All right? But our right brain is everlasting. It's non-changing. The programs are there. They just need to be turned on and run more often. Right? Okay. So we need to use our entire brain. Right? And we're going to do that, right? Because we're all neuroscientists. And we're also neuroanatomists also. Right? So do you understand how powerful this is? Yes. This is powerful. This is powerful. Because remember this, you are where you are right now. You're sitting where you are right now, and you're in the physical state, you're in the emotional state, you're in the social state, you're in the financial state, you're in the spiritual state, and because of two things, life events and your genetics have created who you are. Those two things right there create who we are. A lot of what we are, it's life events, and believe me, being born the middle of 7 kids on a farm and a ranch to parents who didn't make it past the 6th grade, There were a lot of life events that I experienced that a lot of you didn't experience. And you experienced a lot of things I didn't experience. You know? All these experiences have influenced me in one way or the other. And then there's the genetics. Middle of 7 kids, all 7 of us different. I'm the crazy one. Born with an obsessive compulsive personality. Going, I've got to do it, this, it's got to be this way, it's got to be this way, I've got to find the answer to this, I will rest until I do, and da-da-da, and my mud pies are not perfect, so I'm going to freak out. I actually did that when I was a little kid. My brothers and sisters still talk about it, all right? I freaked out when the mud pies were not perfect. Let's don't talk about when I brought an A- home. Total meltdown. And my parents were, this kid is crazy. I was born that way. My brothers and sisters weren't that way. Same parents, same house. So you inherit your personality. And which of these can be changed? Can you change your past life events? Can you change your genetics? As a lot of you know, you can change both of them. We can change how we look at past life events. A lot of my life events were, this shouldn't have happened, this shouldn't have happened. What if I would have had more educated parents? Or what if my fiance would have broken up with me in college and he was horrible? All these things, we can change how we look at them and go, I had the best parents ever. Why? Because they were my parents. They were the parents God gave me. And I wouldn't be where I am right now had I not been brought up a certain way. And had my fiance not broken up with me, I wouldn't be married to the guy I am now. I had to look back and go look at the gifts and the opportunities and not argue with reality. We have to go look at these past events, these memories. And what emotional attachment do we have on that memory? Because memories without negative emotional attachment equal wisdom, insight, gifts. It's the emotional attachment we put to those. All right. But you can't change your genetics. Oh, yes, you can. Does everybody with the breast cancer gene get breast cancer? No. No. Does everybody with the high blood pressure gene get high blood pressure? We can alter the function of our gene, epigenetics. You alter, actually we'll talk about, you alter the function of your genes in one way, just by thinking a certain thought. We'll talk about that. All right. Are you catching what I'm throwing here? Yes. All right, you with me? Because of course you're with me, because you are neuroscientists, yeah. So if you don't like where you are right now physically, if you don't like where you are emotionally, socially, financially, spiritually, it's not your fault, it's your programming. And we need to change our programming. And I mean about all aspects of our life, even our social life. I had to look at my marriage differently, my relationships with people differently, and I had to look for the gifts and all and quit judging them and go back and say, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? It's our programming. So we need a new program, a new operating system. And I've come up with the Living Well Aware formulas, the I's to a new improved OS, or actually the I's to a new improved I. All right? One of the most important I's is information. You and I need the best information. Is there a lot of bad information out there? And I can tell you there's a lot of bad information in the wellness world. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. And people are trying to sell you stuff, IV, vitamin infusions, and all sorts of crazy stuff. Now, some of it is incredible. Stem cells, there's fact, and then there's downright fraud. So we have to sift through what is the best information. And that's what I love doing, what works and what doesn't. All right, so getting the best information. Another I, you can have all the information in the world, but not implement it. How many of you know exercising every day is good for you? How many of you do it? Steve, raise your hand. Yeah, me and Steve. Yeah, we know. Just because we have the information, but we need to know how to implement it. And there's some really cool strategies out there on how to implement it. And some really cool books that I've read, like Tiny Habits and stuff. Like, oh my God, this stuff actually works. How are you going to implement that information? And then you need some inspiration. Occasionally, I love being inspired. That's why I like to go to feel-good movies where I just get inspired. Like, oh my goodness, if this person can do this, I should be able to do this. Yeah, we just need inspiration. We need to know that it's possible. That it's possible, okay? Because after a while, we got the information and we start implementing it, and we get inspired, and all of a sudden we have installation. We have a new program. We've installed a new program. And that program starts to running, but it takes repetition. But it also takes something very important. What is going to drive this equation? What's the most important I out there? Some of you know this, you've heard me speak. Anybody? Imagination. That's what drives the program. I see it. Just like my GPS system knows where I want to go in my car or on my phone. I know where I want to go. I know where I want to go. I see myself. I'm 100 years old on an international flight, putting my suitcase in the overhead bin by myself. I see her. Oh, there's this good-looking guy next to me who wants to put it in there for me. Okay, go ahead. I see it. I see it, and I know what it's going to have to take to get there. I know physically, emotionally, socially, financially, spiritually what it's going to take. I see it. It's not willpower that gets me out of bed every morning to go exercise. If it were up to willpower, I would still be in bed right now. I know the life I want to have. I see it, and it just gets me out of bed. It also drives me to eat certain foods and stay away from others. I know I have a destination. Sherry Wojtek had a destination for this building. And look what we have. And she didn't stop until she got it. There was probably some detours along the way. But get back, she had the vision. So we need a GPS upgrade. Everybody agree? Everybody want a computer upgrade? I hope you upgrade. Let's upgrade more than our computers and our phones and our appliances and everything else. Our brain is our GPS. I like to call it our global performance system, our guided performance system, whatever you like. And we need to imagine a new improved destination. Because if we have a new intention or a new story, we go, no, here's the new me. Here's my new story. My old story was, this is difficult, that's just not me. That's the old story. Now we have a new intention. We have a new story. And not only that, we have an elevated emotional state. Oh yeah, I see myself, okay. No, we have an elevated emotional state because you have a new intention, a story, and an elevated emotional state. You're in a state of gratitude just for the possibility that this could happen. Now you have a new you. And you haven't even done anything except imagine it. You already have a new you. And you might say, excuse me, seriously, Patsy? I first have to imagine the new behavior and the end result and give thanks before it even happens? Yes. I'll just bet you Sherry Wojtek was giving thanks for this building before it even happened. She knew what it was going to do. She was giving thanks, and they hadn't even laid the cement. You give thanks before it even happens. And you might say, seriously, yes? Yes, because your body doesn't know the difference. It doesn't know the difference. How many of you have been stressed out, I mean really stressed out and worried about something because you thought something bad was going to happen? How many of you have been in that state? Okay. And those of you that didn't raise your hand, you lie about other shit too. All right? But you're just worried that it might happen. So you're worried and your body's thinking it's already happening. It doesn't know the difference. Okay, I'm out of town on a speaking engagement. My husband's hunting with the boys. And I know that they're going to be hunting during the day, but at night they're going to be driving home. So I call my husband, he doesn't answer. I call Bart, he doesn't answer. I call Gabe, he doesn't answer. 2 hours later, I call Jeff, he doesn't answer. I call Bart, he doesn't answer. I call Gabe, he doesn't answer. I'm thinking they should be on the road. I'm thinking they all must be.
Yeah.
Of course! They're dead! No, they're at the Batman movie with their cell phones turned on. crazy shit. My body doesn't know the difference. It thinks it's happening. It thinks it's happening. All right? This is powerful. Albert Einstein, would you say he's pretty smart? I mean, he's like us, neuroscientist. When I examine myself and my methods of thought, I come to the conclusion that the gift of fantasy has meant more to me than my talent for absorbing positive knowledge. Do you know a lot of really smart people? I mean, really smart people with a bunch of initials behind their name who are unhealthy? They know what they need to do. Knowledge, Albert Einstein got it. It's not just the knowledge, it's the gift of fantasy. He saw something. He had to see it. Then he had to make it. Then his mind found a way to get there. The gift of fantasy. So important. So neuroscientists, how many of you believe your thoughts affect your life? Raise your hand. Our thoughts affect our life. We create the world we live in. Do we see a stressful world? A world of this person shouldn't be doing this, frustration, da-da-da. Or do we see a world of possibilities, of challenges, of gifts? We create the world we live in with our thoughts. With our thoughts, right? Our thoughts, which are our BS, our belief system. This truck is full of BS, right? Okay? It's all about our belief system. Our thoughts create our reality. How we think, feel, and act is our personality, right? We all have a certain personality, and how do we know that? Because of the way we think, feel, and act. We say, oh, that person has that type of personality. How do we know that? Because we know how they think, feel, and act. Right? So, to create a new you, we're going to have to think differently, feel differently, act differently. We have to be a new personality. A new personality. And all of a sudden, people notice. Like that person's just different. And they look different too. You know? In other words, the imposter's gone. All of a sudden, the real them is coming out that's been hidden. Right? So our beliefs and our thoughts create our reality. Because if you and I are sitting there and we're worried about something, we're worried about somebody else, or we're worried about our health, or we're worried, we're frustrated with ourselves that we can't, but you're catching what I'm throwing. You know what you're thinking. You know what frustrates you. Maybe what stresses out, what you're worried about. Right? When we have these thoughts, we are actually changing our genes. When I have a thought, my neural circuit, just these trillions of cells, these neuronal units take off. Certain chemicals are being released, which are affecting my gene function, which are affecting my protein production. I am creating reality-changing matter with my thought. With my thought. When I think negative thoughts, I'm releasing negative chemicals, which are affecting my entire body, my musculature, my immune system, my cardiovascular system. It is mind over matter, folks. My mind controls how I move this matter and what function, how all my systems function. All right? And when we're creating these negative thoughts, we are bathing ourselves in this, and we become addicted to it. We can become addicted to stress, to frustration, to depression. We can actually become to where our body goes, it's in our subconscious mind. Our body's addicted to it. We don't even think it. Now the body is in control. We're not in control. The body is in control. The program is there. We're not even thinking. The body's just doing it. The body knows how to be depressed, how to be anxious, how to be stressed out. All right. So your body doesn't know the difference between imagining an event and experiencing the actual event. But when we think about an event, our body is drawn to more of those events. It's drawn to more of those events. So we wonder why negative things may keep happening and why this isn't happening, because that's what we're thinking. That's what we're thinking. That's what we're thinking. That's what we're thinking. I have two friends who are both divorced. And one of them is, Patsy, there's no good guys out there. I give up. And there's the other one, Patsy. I went to this new website called Bumble or something, whatever it is. And she said, I can't believe all the incredible guys. Now she's got a guy this guy who's got a PhD, and that she's doing it. I'm like, something happens to Jeff. I want to know these signs. I mean, but her viewpoint is, he's out there, I'm going to find him. And she sends the message out there. And all of a sudden, we attract certain events. And the universe responds. All right? It's incredible. Because all of a sudden, if you and I start thinking really good thoughts, and we start thinking, there's a better version of me out there. I'm not getting older, I'm getting younger. It's just the way it is. That's what I'm thinking. And my body gets drawn to certain events and to volunteering. Oh, I need to help other people. Oh my goodness, I'm a part of the we. Well, I'm the part of the we. What can I do to help it? And I'm drawn to healthy foods. This is what I want to eat. This is what Steve's going to talk to us about. How we can all eat healthier. You know? And then all of a sudden we're in great social relationships and we hang with people who are positive, that are going to lift us up and are going to go and make us question, go, really? And we want to be around those people. I find these people that inspire me, that are going to challenge me, and I stalk them. I just want to be around them. I want to be around them. I just had the ex-CEO of Wilson Art over to my house. She's amazing. I just like being around her. She's amazing. You know? I love being around her. I have one person who's so spiritual. I think she has a halo. I love being around her. But if she doesn't start taking care of her physical health, she's going to meet her creator before her time, but that's a different story. I love her because of her spiritual aspects, and I'm helping her with the other two, okay? But you know, it's like I love, that's why I have so many diverse people at my house. All these aspects we can learn from. And all of a sudden, we stop and pay a visit to ourselves. And we get into a state of gratitude. And we're just grateful for life. We're grateful that we're connected to a higher power that loves us. And I'm grateful that inside of me is this person that is perfect, that is whole, that is beautiful, that is limitless. I am unlimited. There's that part of me there. And I get into that state because there's this other part of me over here that says, I'm not good enough, I don't have enough, I'm not loved enough, things are happening to me, and I failed. What part of the brain do you think that's coming from? The left brain. And then there's the right brain that says, you are good enough, in fact, you are perfect. You were created in my image. And you have everything you need right now to take this on. You are limitless. And I love you unconditionally no matter what you do. And things aren't happening to you, they're happening for you. And I have not failed. I'm just like Thomas Edison. I found 10,000 ways that don't work. And then we get in that state. You start that state off every day, and things start to happen. Things start to happen. And all of a sudden, you're just bathing yourself with this amazing stuff. You're bathing yourself with unlimited possibilities and gratitude, and that knowing that what you can do. And you're still just sitting there and haven't done anything, and your body's like, we are on it. It thinks you're doing it. It doesn't know the difference, and it becomes addicted to this. It becomes addicted to this. All right. Nerve cells that fire together, wire together. Those pathways that are not serving us well, we want to delete them. In fact, we want to use them so rarely they start to atrophy. And this is what neuroplasticity is all about. Those pathways that are full of depression, anxiety, stress, we go, no, I want to be over here. And those pathways can atrophy, and all of a sudden we can build new pathways. Epigenetics, altering the function of our genes. Neuroplasticity, creating new pathways. Neurogenesis, creating new brain cells. All right. So neuroscientists, I have a question for you. Can you believe in a future that only exists in your mind and give gratitude for it today? Can you do that? Yes, we all have the ability to do that. get into a state of mind and just get in a state of gratitude. Because if you're in a state of gratitude and you're just grateful, you're grateful that you were created in the image of an amazing power. You're just grateful for your life and for unconditional love. Try to be depressed. You can't. You can't exist in two states at once. And folks, by the way, not only do you need to be neuroscientists, you have to be master wellness computer programmers. So look at the person next to you and say, I'm a master wellness computer programmer. Okay, now notice I said wellness computer programmer. Can you be a self-pity computer programmer? Oh yeah, you got that program right down. Can you have a stress program? I had that one down. I had that one real well. I had that obsessive compulsive program down real well. We can be programmed. We want to be wellness programmers. We want programs for wellness. Right? Why? Because we want to meet our role expectations. Right? Can you install a program that thinks and feels gratitude and joy for no reason except for opportunities and possibilities? Can you do that? Actually, you don't even need to install it. It's already there. Just turn the sucker on. We just need to start using it. The program is there. Just like there are programs on my computer and phone that they're there. I just don't know how to, haven't used them. So tonight is all about upgrading our operating system. Everybody on that? Okay. Because there's 4 questions we have to answer. And then I'm going to finish it close to down. Am I doing about 5 more minutes? Okay, everybody okay? Thanks for putting up with me. Okay. First thing we need to do is assess our self-limiting BS. We all have a belief system, and a lot of our beliefs are really good. They're loving, and they're kind, and they're giving, they're understanding, they're empathetic. Those beliefs, we need to keep them. But we have some self-limiting beliefs. This is going to be difficult. This is not possible. Why is this happening to me? And we need to question those self-limiting beliefs. And because we need to say, where have those self-limiting beliefs got me? Where am I now, physically, emotionally, socially, financially, spiritually, on a scale of 1 to 5? Because if we're not a 5 in all those categories, what's kept us from that are self-limiting beliefs a lot of times. And none of us will be that perfect version that God created us to be. But I submit to all of you, we can all keep working on that and get closer to that amazing version with the amazing life we were created to have. Because our self-limiting beliefs can lead to a suboptimal existence. So, what are my self-limiting beliefs and where have they gotten me? And you do this with no BS, no blame and shame, no bitterness, no sadness. You are where you are right now because that's where you're supposed to be. I have no negative thoughts about the fact that my marriage wasn't doing well. I was actually drinking too much, but I was hiding that really well. And a lot of other things. I have no regrets for any of that. It happened for a reason. And now I know I can take that and I can tell people, no matter what you've done, that was meant to happen, now what are you going to do with it? And in one way, I'm able to empower people that you can change your lives. Had I had a perfect life and I were a perfect person, I'd be going, would you guys just get your act together, okay? I mean, seriously, come on. Hello. No, I get it. And I still struggle in making things, but now I know why I do. And I know the pathway. You know, now I know. I'm going to continue to question self-limiting beliefs the rest of my earthly existence because I know if I do, I'm going to be able to up my score in all of these areas, right? And then question number 3, I have to construct a life-changing belief system. Instead of I can't do this or this is difficult, I can't do this, this is difficult or why me? This isn't difficult, people do it all the time, now it's my turn. I see. And we turn that belief system around. We take that negative belief, whatever it is, that person shouldn't be doing that. No, maybe I need to think maybe I need to question why I'm thinking that person shouldn't do that, because their life events and their genetics have caused them to do this. The problem is how I'm reacting to what they're doing. And maybe it's not in a loving, kind fashion. I love it. Viktor Frankl, author of Man's Search for Meaning. How many have read Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl? All right, I'm going to ask it one more time. How many people have read Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl? Raise your hand. Thank you, a couple. This should be required reading for all human beings. Dr. Viktor Frankl was a Holocaust survivor. His pregnant wife was killed in Auschwitz. His parents were killed, other family members. He survived because rather than arguing with reality, he kept thinking, for some reason I'm supposed to be here, and these people are doing this because that's the way they've been taught. And his thinking caused him to survive, and afterwards he wrote Man's Search for Meaning. And the key to the whole book is our last greatest freedom. I can't control what people do to me. I can't control life events. I can control how I react to what people do to me, to life events. I can. It's my last freedom. And it's an amazing book. The first 90 pages are pretty horrific about being in Auschwitz, but the last is his philosophy. And it's an amazing book, converted to 30 different languages, read by millions of people. It'll be one of the books we covered in the book review in our upcoming course. It's going to be great. Change your life, changing belief system. When we change our beliefs, guess what? We're able to construct a new destination. You're able to say, I have these new beliefs now, what does my new life look like? What does my new life look like? Because we have to see it and believe it to be it. All right. So instead of I can't, this is difficult, it's just not me, where does that thinking get us? Instead of, what if I change my thinking to this? Where could it get us? Physically, emotionally, socially, financially, spiritually, in all areas. Don't leave any of them out. I know too many rich people who are unhealthy. And I know too many incredibly healthy looking people. They look like $1 billion. I always say billion because of inflation. I used to say billion. Who socially, their life is a mess, or emotionally, but we want it all. Physically, emotionally, socially, financially, and our spirituality, our connection with everyone is the framework for all the others. All right. So our thoughts create our reality. So living well aware, don't leave any of these steps out. What thinking, what self-limiting belief system got me where I am now, and what thinking, life-changing belief system will get me to the life of my dreams, because things are going to happen in life. It's not what's happening out there. It's our reaction to what's happening out there. And yes, we're all going to be knocked off the wagon. Something's going to happen that, whoa. The answer is how quickly can we get back on? Can we get back on? So make health and true happiness the priority. Everyone wins. Everyone wins. It's not just about you. It's not just about you. So I hope a lot of you will join us for Living Well Aware 2024. It just started last week. I know several of y'all are in here are already enrolled. I saw y'all on Zoom last week. Okay, if you have any questions about it, let me know. It's going to be fun. We're going to review some of the best books and some of the best information on every topic out there, from hot cold therapies to stem cells to autophagy, how your body actually wants to recycle itself. Your body's so smart, it wants to get rid of the bad stuff and leave the good stuff. But we're putting so much stuff in it, it can't get rid of the bad stuff, which creates inflammation, which is the root cause of disease. So be an outlier, and thank y'all for being here tonight. You're definitely outliers. All right, so give yourself a hand, neuroscientists. Okay, so in livingwellaware.com, sign up for our free newsletter and click on the newsletter up there, okay? Because live healthy, live happy, live holy, so you can live humanity. And I made a mistake that should say Living Well Aware at Temple Community Clinic. But I modified this talk from First Community Title. They're a title company in town. They have several offices in Central Texas, and I have doing private webinars for all their employees now. They get on for 30 minutes every week, and we talk about something. So sorry about the typo. All right, so onward, neuroscientist. Thank you.